Good morning, my viewers all over the world. This is your regular host, Valentine. Today, we'll be talking about circumference, an area of a circle. Our lesson aim is to understand how to solve the circumference and area of a circle. It is hopefully that at the end of the session, our learners or viewers will be able to find solutions to the circumference and area of the circle. Yes, this is just a quick mini starter, a quick mini activity so as to appreciate the parts of a cycle. So let's do this together. We are given the shape and we are asked to identify the parts of the cycle, and these are the spellings all over here. So what we just needed to do is to identify the right words and put them in the box. So let's go ahead and see if we can identify them correctly. So this is the tangent, tangent. This is the chord. Here is our radius. Oh, let me clean this. Radius. And this is our circumference. 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 So this is the part of a cycle. Then we'll go to the answer slides to cross-check if we've done the right thing. Yeah, yes, we've done the right thing. This is the tangent, which is correct. This is our radius, chord, and circumference. Yeah, before we move on, there are little there are little identification I want to make here. Another word for circumference as it relates to a circle is known as the perimeter. Most times I notice that examination awarding bodies use these words to confuse learners. Please, I want my learners or viewers to take note of the difference. So once it's a cycle, you can either use any of these two words interchangeably. You can use the two words interchangeably. You can either say perimeter of a cycle or circumference of a cycle. Remember, the word perimeter is the total distance. The total distance around, the total distance around a shape. So this is the total distance around the cycle, and it is also known as the circumference. Please, I will encourage my learners to take note of this because these words are used interchangeably just to confuse the learner. So the earlier our learners or viewers take note of this, the better. as the exam is fast approaching. This is the formula for the circumference of a circle. So for me, I will always encourage learners to use this. The circumference of a circle is known as 2 pi r or pi d. You can use any of the formulas you deemed fit, but most times I prefer using this, which is 2 pi r, 2 times pi times r. Please, one more thing I want to note, that this simply means 2 times pi times r. 2 times pi times r. And the value for our pi is constant. The value for our pi is always 3.142. And our radius is known as your diameter divided by 2. Diameter divided by 2. Diameter divided by 2. So since this is our radius here, our diameter will always pass through the center of the circle. So if this radius is 6 centimeter, so this too will be 6 centimeter, then the entire diameter will be 12 centimeter. Please let my learners or viewers take note of this. So sometimes questions might always come in the form of the diameter. Once you have the diameter, what you just needed to do is to divide the diameter into two equal parts to get 12. And also remember that your diameter is equal to 2 times your radius. So with this information, we'll be able to solve any questions as it relates to circumference of a circle. This is an example, but let's move on to the practice paper on the other side of the slides. So these are the questions. For simplicity, for time's sake, I will be looking at question number 1 and in terms of this, and question number 5, then I will want my viewers or learners to have a go to the other questions. Once you've solved the other remaining questions, you can now move to the answer slides to cross-check your answer. Remember, you have to do this honestly because I will not be there to look at your activities. But I'm encouraging you to try as much as possible to be honest to yourself. That will go a long way in helping deepening your knowledge. So this question says, shown below is a circle with diameter this. Calculate the circumference of the circle. Give your answer to one decimal place. Calculate the circumference of the circle and give your answer to one decimal place. Remember, our circumference, the first thing is to know or remember the formula. Circumference of a circumference is 2 pi r. So what that will be 2 times, we know the value for our pi. Our pi is 3.142 times. Then our radius, remember, this is the diameter. As mentioned earlier in the previous slides, that to get your radius, what you just need to do is to halve the diameter. So 5 divided by 2 will be 2.5. Our radius is 2.5. So once you multiply 2 times 3.142 times 2.5, your final answer becomes 15.7. Remember, it depends on your calculator. So definitely you get 15.7. Even if your answer is a little bit different because of the decimal places, it doesn't matter. But you know, you might get a slight difference based on the value for the pi. Sometimes some might decide to use 3.14, or some might decide to use the entire calculator solutions of the value of the pi. So the answer says give your answer to one decimal place. If you multiply this, you get this. So answer is becomes 15.7. And please always remember your unit of measurement in any exam situation. The unit of measurement attracts marks depending on the question and depending on the mark scheme. So please take note of this. Then we'll look at the other question, question number 5. Question number 5 says a cycle has a diameter of this. Work out the circumference of the cycle and please take notes. Give your answer in terms of pi. So our circumference circumference is equal to 2 pi r. 2 pi r. So to solve that, we have 2 times our pi, because the question said give your answer in terms of pi, so we'll have to maintain our pi. We are not giving value for pi, times our radius. You can see diameter is 12 millimeter. So to get your radius, you need to half the 12. So that will be 12 divided by 2 will be equal to, that will give us 6. So times 6. At the end of the day, once you multiply all this, you'll be having 12 pi millimeter. So I will encourage my learners to have a go at question 2, 3, and 8. Once you've done that, please you move on to the next slide to cross-check your answer. So you can see this is perfect and this is perfect. Please do this honestly. So let's move on to the next slide. Then the next one is the area of a circle. Your area of a circle, the formula is this, pi r squared. Pi r squared. The area of a circle, the formula is pi r squared. So let's move on to the questions available. So as usual, it's a little bit straightforward. We've known our value for our pi. You can see r squared is this. This becomes pi times r times r. So this is our classwork. In this case, let's look at difficult questions. Then, okay, we'll attempt questions 1 and 2. Hopefully, with our explanations, our learners will be able to look at questions 5 and 6. So in this question, let's look at this. The question says, shown is a cycle with radius days. Work out the area of the cycle. State the units of your answer. Give your answer to two decimal places. Remember, our area is equal to pi squared, which is the value of our pi is 3.142 times 5 squared. So 3.142 times, this is 25. So 3.142 times 25. 5 squared is known as 5 squared is known as 5 times 5, which will give us 25. So 5 squared is 25. We'll multiply straight. 3.142 times 3.142 times 25. Your answer becomes 78.55 centimeter square. Remember, the question says give your answer to two decimal places. So two decimal places, you count after the decimal place. You count 1, 2. There's no available number. You can stop here. So your final answer becomes 78.55 centimeters square. Please take note of the unit of measurement, centimeters square, because we are talking about area. We are talking about area, so you leave this centimeters square. Let's look at the next one. A cycle has a radius of this. Work out the area of the cycle and give your answer in terms of pi. So our area will become area is equal to pi squared, which is pi times, you can see our radius here is 3 centimeters. 3 centimeters become 3 square. So this is pi times 3 squared means 3 times 3 is equal to 9. So this is pi times 9. You can either give your answer as pi 9 or 9 pi. It doesn't matter. They are all the same. Pi 9 or 9 pi is correct. So with this, we've attempted these two questions, and I encourage my learners or viewers to attempt this other two. Remember, this is a calculator question. This is a calculator question. Go ahead, make use of your calculator. Then once you've done that, you can now move to the other side to cross-check your answer. You can see this is a little bit different from what we did because the authors here use the entire value for the pi on the as displayed in the calculator. Then let's do the same thing. So we are correct with this. At this juncture, we've come to the end of the session. Hopefully, more videos, more sessions will be uploaded. Remember, this is just a quick revision guide to help you deepen your knowledge of several topics as we move on to as we approach the exam date. So I will encourage you all to keep practicing. If you have any questions, you can always reach me at my comment section. I'll be more than happy to respond to you all, guys. So thank you very much. Thank you, and see you in the other session. And this is your regular host, Valentine. Bye.